We are live. How are you doing, Rich?
Crumpy, miss you, buddy.
Yeah, I've been kind of still under the weather a little bit, so I'm not still not the way. But before we get started, I do have a link down below in the description to Bella's wish. Bella is my niece that passed away from cancer. Her make-a-wish was to help other kids after she passes deal with cancer and other things. So we have a virtual toy drive going on. There's an Amazon wish list, so you can buy anything off that Amazon wish list. It will get shipped up to New York, where she's from, and then I don't. That explains it, but the link's not actually on there.
Oh.
So after that, that's the Bella Wish Foundation. That's another thing we started with the help of Jordan. Jordan actually funded the
cool.
nonprofit stuff for that.
Wow.
But yeah. And so let's go ahead and just jump into this. But if you want to make a donation, all the toys will go to Ronald McDonald House and help out sick kids. Jordan's actually out there. Hi, Jordan.
Is he? Hey, Jordan.
Yeah. Okay.
I've never talked to him on the phone.
JSD Supply. Okay, so breaking news out of New York. This happened at 5:47. It came down. I was in the middle of eating pizza. My wife was going out tonight, so I had some extra time, and we're going to be talking about this case in Manhattan, New York. What happened was the NRA was sued for corruption charges. And basically, it was they accused them of misusing funds and stuff like that for private jets and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Who knew?
This afternoon, a New York jury, has come back and found the NRA liable for misappropriating $5,400,000.
I don't mean to be a dick about it. Who cares?
Yeah. So they were the jury took about 5 days of deliberation to come up with that. Usually what happens is when they have something like this, the first thing they have to determine is, was there any liability? Did the NRA and Wayne, in this case, did they do anything wrong? So they determined that. After a couple days, I was like, oh yeah, they're going to hang them, because the longer part of the deliberation is how much money was lost. So I basically had an idea, but I wasn't sure, but my idea was right.
The result is they're saying they misappropriated $5 million.
$5,400,000.
I hate to say it, I don't care. I would have thought it would have been tens of millions or 20 million, or
It could be.
But then what?
Well, basically they argued. I mean, that's what the jury agreed to: $5,400,000 for $5.4 million. New
So
York
that's
was trying
not
to
the
say
penalty or the fine
no.
or
New York
anything.
was trying to say it was more. For
Mhm,
example, $11 million for private flights is something that they listed.
mhm, mhm.
So that is one of the things they listed.
And so 2 things. One, I mean, I always thought Wayne LaPierre was a crook. I'm just never a fan. I just thought they blatantly misappropriated our money, period. I'm
Yeah,
shocked that it's only 5 million, but counterbalancing that with New York, I don't trust anything that comes out of New York because look
yeah.
what they did to Trump.
Loretta James is not a good person. The NRA tried to argue that the private flights were because of security concerns because Wayne is
Mhm.
high profile,
Yeah,
and they were worried if he took regular flights that someone would get him. I guess.
yeah. I mean, Bibi Netanyahu flies commercial.
Yeah,
Uh, Don't get me wrong. If somebody else is paying for the jet, I'm riding. I'm good.
yeah. Originally, Loretta James, who was the prosecutor, the AG, she wanted what is called a corporate death penalty.
Yes.
That was blocked very early on.
So they reorganized to kind of like limit their liability for that.
Well, no, they said that the corruption didn't raise to the level that could
Okay.
warrant the corporate death penalty.
Hmm, hmm.
So they took that off the table very early, and that was the New York Supreme Court.
Wow. Okay. Well, don't get me wrong. No fan of the NRA, but the less more gun organizations out there, pro gun the better. So the question is now, and now what? So fine, they're guilty of misappropriating a little over $5 million. I don't care.
Well, we're gonna find out soon.
So they haven't said, oh, by the way, there's a $10 million fine for you misappropriating $5 million.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're probably gonna have to pay some type of fine or whatever.
So
Probably
what?
$5.4 million.
So I mean, they golden parachuted Wayne LaPierre with $17 million, so he can write a check for the 5 and have a good day.
Well, it's probably not gonna be Wayne covering the whole thing because it's not only Wayne,
Okay.
it's the NRA itself and
Hmm.
also another guy in there. Uh, Woody Phillips, who was the NRA CFO.
Ooh, okay. So there's no. We're talking civil penalties. We're not talking jail time.
No jail time. This was a civil case.
Hmm, hmm.
This was a civil case.
I hate to say it. I don't care.
All right. I mean, NRA takes in a
I
lot
mean,
of money still.
yeah. I mean, how I don't know what their budget is, and I don't know what kind of money they do. I hope. I mean, if this was GOA or FPC, it'd probably be a horrific blow. But NRA, I mean, they probably can just shrug it off and keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
Their lawyers probably cost more than $5 million.
I have their 2001 990.
Okay.
So I can tell you how much they took in 2001.
So what was the haul?
Give me 1 second. I'm looking it up right
I'm betting it's several $100 million.
now. They took in 84,330,000.
84? That's it?
84
Alright.
million. That's just for contributions.
One oh,
Then the
okay.
programs and everything else, it was 101, like 101.8 million. And then investment income was 4.9 million. Other revenue was 38.2 million.
Whoa.
So the total revenue was 227.4 million dollars
In 1 year.
in 1 year. That was down from 2020, which their total was 282 million.
And Wayne only gets half of that, or what? How's that work?
I don't know. He gets a lot though. He got a lot.
I hate to say it, this is a waste of everybody's time.
But this is from 2021. I don't think the 20. Oh, actually, hold on. I do have the 2022s. In 2022, they took in a total of 211.3 million. So that's down. And if you look at how much down it went from like 288 to 211 in 2 years.
So
That's a
they have a new.
massive drop.
We'll be getting fundraising letters tomorrow in our mailbox saying,
Yeah, I mean,
New York State did us dirty. Please send us money for legal expenses.
look who it is.
Dark.
Close.
Hi, Dark. Sorry, my voice is still.
That's all right. Let me switch over to my mic. Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Do I think that members are going to sue for damages? I don't know. Probably not.
I hate to say it. If they can only legit find $5 million of abuse, I'm shocked at an organization that big. That's a rounding error.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over how many years? Over.
Yeah. Loretta James did refer to the NRA as a terrorist organization.
The only people they terrorize are their paying members. So Rich, for clarity, what do you mean by you don't care?
So a couple of things. It's kind of like I'm formally an NRA member. When I thought, like heck yeah, when I was still in the FUD mode before I was, full gun builder guy. If it's only $5 million, I don't care, and I don't care about the lawsuit, and I don't care whatever the penalty is. It's a rounding error. It's not worth anybody's time or business to even be concerned about. It's not worth New York State cost of litigation.
It's plus 2.5% of what they take in a year.
I think what people may hear when they hear you say that is that you don't care that he and they did that.
I hate to say it, if it's only $5 million, no, I don't care.
So,
I don't care about that either.
So $5.4 million of contributions
over how much time? Over 10 years, 20 years, 30 years?
Well, no, it sounds like it was 1 year.
Was it 1 year, John?
The trial it was more than 1 year, but that's just what the jury found.
So when they found that $5.4 million,
that's just what the jury calculated. They can
over the span of 1 year, or
no, it's just overall. That's what they said. They
over all time, like forever.
Well, that's what the jury said. That's not. That isn't exactly what it like. What the state wanted.
Over a 10-year period, it was $100 million. So that'd be like, yeah, we got something to talk about. So if it's $5 million over a 5 or 10-year period, I don't care.
So if I were to take 2.5% of my contributions from my viewers and or something, like, you know what I mean, like it does. I think people may hear what you're saying as like you're okay with it, and
no, I'm not okay with it.
That's their contributions to somebody to specifically fight. Even though we all know the NRA does not
pick a better organization.
For sure. I'm just saying that you may want to be clear.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. So there's lots of great organizations out there where you'll get a tremendous ROI, return of investment, like GOA, FPC, SAF, all great organizations.
Yeah.
There's great state organizations.
Yeah, there's a GOA convention coming up.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
I will not be there.
Well, will I get flown out in a private jet? I mean, if I get a private jet, I'm in.
No, I'm not going to be there though.
Can you call Wayne and ask him
to fly you out?
Yeah, to fly me out.
Yeah, I'm not going to be at there though. Just to let everyone know.
I know it's not in your basement, so I figured.
No, it's my wife's birthday weekend, or I would have.
Oh shoot!
I think any organization that accepts money, accepts contributions from their members or whatever you want to call it, right, for something specific like fighting for gun rights or fighting for our natural rights or whatever, some type of civil, you know what I'm saying, right?
All right.
Any,
So if somebody is
yep,
just tuning
sure, go
in
ahead.
and they thought boy, hold on, NRA was a real gun rights organization and not something that was just there to enrich the board
Yeah.
and sell our rights away. Okay, I feel bad for you. You were duped.
Yeah, raise your hand if you're on this panel and you support the NRA.
I mean, I'm gonna stay neutral on the whole thing,
Sure. That's important to stay neutral.
but
Um,
because I
I
kind of work with
look,
another gun rights
Wayne's out.
organization.
sure,
I'm
that's
kind of
fair.
excited about that, but I think they got a Wayne clone right behind him.
They always will. It will never.
Well, there's some board members that are running that are like outside candidates that I think
Mhm.
could really shake stuff up. For example, Jeff Knox.
Hey,
Neil
I
Knox was he he went to war with Wayne over the NRA.
I hope. I
I'll
mean,
look it up.
if the NRA gets
Rocky
turned around,
Marshall,
it can be the 1,000-pound gorilla in the room.
Phil Journey. There's a few guys. If you are an NRA member and you want to vote, look, these are the guys you want to vote for.
I think the message that I want to get out there is like I understand you, Rich. I
Right,
understand the way you think, so I know what you're saying, right? But
right.
there may be people out there that were like, "Oh my God, like Rich is okay with this. Rich is right." So I just wanted to be, help you to provide clarity to some. Yeah,
No, I think
5.4
if
million is
all
nothing.
right.
But
So,
here's well, let me finish the one thought real
yeah,
quick.
okay.
My thing is that this organization said, please give us your money so we can fight for your rights and preserve your natural rights. And they
Pay for Wayne's
misappropriated
chance.
those funds. They lied. They stole from you.
Absolutely.
And that's what the NRA does. That's why the NRA stands for not real activists, negotiating rights away. All
Right.
the acronyms that you guys already know. They're wrong. They are dead wrong. And
Hmm.
yes, $5.4 million is nothing compared to their $100+ million annual, gross revenue.
I'm shocked it's so low.
I
Yeah.
was not. I went when I went to SHOT. I flew out to Vegas on the same plane as a bunch of the vice presidents, the executive vice president, the senior vice president, Eric Pratt, John Vlecko, all those guys, like all the big people from GOA. They just happened to be on the same plane. We didn't plan it that way or anything, but they were sitting back in coach.
Yeah.
With
That sounds about
their
right.
one carry-on bag.
Yeah.
Hey, we were all
No,
drinking
GOA's
water
lean
at
and mean,
Expo.
and I know the other organizations out there are lean and mean, and NRA would be the last organization I would donate my money to
S-
because I don't trust them.
No,
w-
they've done. I mean,
All right,
I
Bruin,
think
you got me on Bruin.
yeah, because you got if you call out them from the bad stuff, you got to.
You got to
There
celebrate
was
the
more of the
wins.
New
All
York
right,
Sure.
Rifle
fair.
Association, which is the NRA
Yeah.
affiliate, but they do honestly they do more on their own than with the
Look,
NRA.
the Bruin
Yeah.
decision was earth-shattering.
Yeah.
That's
Which can we say how sad that is to say, hey, getting some of our fundamental rights back is earth shattering. Like that is
well,
terribly sad, but
it.
also true.
I don't remember if it's 183 pages, but Clarence Thomas wrote a brilliant dissertation that
Hmm.
it's going to be changing gun laws for the next 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this whole felon in possession of case, I think could potentially have an impact on Bruin. So just like Roe v. Wade, things could be changed.
are you talking about? Are you talking about the case out of Texas that's going up in front of the Supreme Court?
I think so. The dirt bag, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
scares me.
See,
that's
but
right.
you hear what I'm
Bringing
saying, that it could potentially have an impact on Bruin to like not in our favor because of how they classify.
debates going on out there.
Yeah,
Debate.
there always is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Well, anyway, I think it's there are some good things, but for the most part, it's kind of like saying like, well, he doesn't beat his wife all the time. There are
Hmm.
some nights that
Hmm.
he doesn't beat his wife, you know?
Some nights he just slaps her around.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Some nights he just
Yeah.
ignores her.
Well, what I think you need to do is you need to find the organization or organizations that you are comfortable with
Hmm.
and that stand next to you, because organizations, they have different tactics, techniques, they have different stances on different issues, and then you have to decide which one to go with. Like NSSF, for example,
Hmm.
great organization, but they were against. I wouldn't. They weren't against. They were for fixed NICs, for example. The GOA was against it. FPC was against it. And then you have to also look at other things as well. Like, for example, do you want do you want to donate to a group that strictly does lawsuits? If that's the case, then you would look to like FBC. If you want a organization that does or SAF, well, SAF is kind of doing all, but if you want to do an organization that does lawsuits and lobbying, then you would look to GOA because they do lobbying
Hmm.
and lawsuits. So
And
it
does
just depends
lawsuits and
on,
wins.
yeah, it just depends on what you want to do.
Right.
I'm partial to GOA. I'm wearing a GOA hoodie. And because I know all those guys, and
Yeah.
I know where they that I know
I'm partial
I
to the GOA as well,
I know where the BS ends,
but I
and
also support GOA, FPC, and SAF.
yeah,
Um,
SAF is a great organization. I know Alan, and Alan's a great guy. I'm just saying I'm partial to GOA because I work with them and I know everything that goes behind
yeah,
um that goes behind everything.
yep.
So and I also know what really turned me on to GOA before I even started working with them was um I was I went out to lunch with Eric Pratt and Jordan and Stein and all those guys. And so Eric had an event that he was going to down in Florida. He's like, man, man, these flights are really expensive. Let me see how much how much it will cost in gas if I drive my minivan down there.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper in gas to drive his minivan down there.
Yeah.
So he drove his minivan down to Florida to save a few dollars on gas.
Yeah.
But
And
to
that's
save
the
a few
president of
dollars.
GOA,
The senior vice president.
senior vice president. Okay.
Honestly, Watchdog McCoy, he has an interesting question. Basically, why doesn't any gun organization ever attack the root cause of gun control and go after the complete eradication of all gun laws? Rhetorical question. I already know the answer. And I guess what he's implying is that they would, basically remove themselves from existence. Which, if anything, I would say GOA would probably be one of the maybe couple or few organizations that would be willing to
Yeah.
take
Well,
themselves out of a job.
Hmm.
uh,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Hold on, they've even
if,
said, sorry, real quick, Crump. They've even said before they wish they didn't need to exist.
yeah, if you read basically the GOA case down in Texas challenging pistol braces, the first thing we argue is that that the NFA is unconstitutional, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
But if but if the courts decide that the NFA is not unconstitutional, because that's our first argument, then SBRs are in common use, therefore cannot be regulated. But if the courts don't like that, then it keeps on going down. So you go for the big one, but you have to lift the other ones, because the chances of a court coming in and saying that the NFA is unconstitutional, even though it is very small. And then you have to look at what we think that the Supreme Court would take as well. So if like, for example, if you read the Antioch case that was just filed, they petitioned for a writ of certiorari yesterday. That goes after basically all gun laws. But it also says if you don't agree that all gun laws are unconstitutional, then this. So you
And
don't
that's the
want
way
to
to
just
do
go
it.
for like the big win, because that's probably not going to win. You can go for the big win, but you actually have to have plan B, plan C, plan D.
Yeah, John Ward says the ATF itself is unconstitutional. Absolutely. I mean, I don't think that anybody here would disagree that
Yeah, there's
every
been at least 5 cases where GOA has actually argued that. So you
any
gotta read through the whole entire complaint, and then you'll see these. And it's like, okay, well, if the court's going to reject this argument that gets rid of all gun control, well, let's try to do this argument. Now, if you want to reject that one, so you keep on drilling down. So you just don't put your eggs all in one super basket that says all gun laws are unconstitutional, and that's our only argument that we're going to make. We're not going to say, if you find that all gun laws are not unconstitutional, then how about this? So it's
well, and I think that
it's a little bit confusing behind the scenes if you're not familiar with like reading lawsuits.
well, in the Supreme Court can only, because somebody else had said, they'd commented that Justice oh my goodness,
Thomas?
yeah, Clarence Thomas had said, they had said that what he had written was not brilliant because the existence of gun laws means that or something along those lines. But, and not to misquote the person who said that, but the Supreme Court can't just take, they have to, similar to how a governor can
Well,
sign bills on their desk. The Supreme Court can't take one thing and then just poof, like knock out every single
well,
rule, law, and regulation and restriction. They have to make decisions based on specifically what's brought in front of them and the
well,
constitutionality of it.
well, let's look at the Bruin decision, for example. The Bruin decision, Thomas wrote it. It was 5-4, but only 3 of the other justices joined Clarence Thomas in his decision.
Ooh.
Kavanaugh wrote his own decision where he said that states cannot deny a concealed carry permit, but they can require a concealed carry permit. And
Wow.
the other ones that join in. So you also have people. So like it would have been nice to get that, but yeah.
So Larry says, no, we have a 185-page Bruin that still has the ATF running with rules and NFA and states attacking from every angle. It did nothing.
I would respectively disagree that Bruin did nothing.
It's still going to be work. It's going to take time.
It takes a lot of time, but if you look at a lot of the different cases out there, including Cargill, which is going up to the Supreme Court, including Vanderstock, Antioch. What are some of the other ones here? Morehouse.
Well, and I think, let me just add this.
Rahimi.
Know that all of us agree that none of this we shouldn't even have to go down this road to fight in this way. This is just the system in which we have it. It's the
Right, this is the ball
boxing
field
ring.
we're playing in.
Yeah, this is the
unfortunately.
boxing ring. This is where we have to fight, and
What-
it's the mere existence of anything. I'm sorry, John. There's the mere existence of any rule, regulation, or law restricting anyone's rights to any method of self-preservation is wrong, illegal, and unconstitutional.
What Bruin did, it gave us a tool to dismantle all the other gun laws. Because what Bruin did, it replaced the intermediate scrutiny test where they can weigh public safety and other stuff like that, interest balancing, against the against the Constitution. They say, well, this is not constitutional, but we're interest balancing here. What Bruin said is you cannot do that. That got rid of that. That was a huge thing. And that's why we are seeing laws like the Vanderstock law. If it wasn't for Bruin, not Vanderstock, the Vanderstock lawsuit, if it wasn't for Bruin, pistol braces and frames, they would be, we wouldn't be winning those cases. If if it wasn't for Bruin, the assault weapons case and that we have won, and those wouldn't have been won. The cases, the Cargill would have been lost as well. Rahimi would have been lost.
So what he's saying now, and Larry, I respect what you're saying, and we all agree that none of this should exist, right? But the
Yeah,
reality is that like we have to acknowledge the world that we live in, and know that like what 556 media said, it, it you're right, and at the same time, if you walk down the street with a machine gun, yes,
you're
we
gonna go to jail.
believe. Yeah, there's no way around that. Like it should not be. You should be able to build, machine, 3D print, build like whatever you want. Trust me. We
Motorized Gatling guns.
I
No,
would say all of us agree that there shouldn't be any
and
restrictions, but they can't just at the stroke of a pen say, "Oh, because the NFA," because what they're using is the affray, which is the dangerous and unusual, saying that these firearms that fall under the National Firearms Act, which we all agree is bullshit, right? None of us agree with it, but it is what it is. Um, Dangerous and unusual, they're putting in a different category, which is something that I mean, all of us would agree that the NFA and any restriction on firearms like that is all garbage.
yeah, well, Watchdog McCoy brings up that if law enforcement stopped enforcing gun regulations, it would be all meaningless. But I mean, I don't. Do you trust them not to enforce gun regulations?
Yeah, I mean, how do we like what's the solution, right? Like all of
And
us agree that we shouldn't have to do this, and
but
it's also where we're at.
and here's the thing. Let's say you get arrested and you fight it and you use unconstitutional blah blah blah. Um, as your defense, and let's say you win. That's a criminal case.
Yeah.
So that doesn't extend past your criminal case.
Yeah, it's for that singular individual
Yeah, that's
versus
why you need the civil cases, and that's what GOA, FBC, and all these others file is civil cases,
yeah.
and that's how you get that.
Yeah, mass non-compliance, I agree that that's probably one of the best and fastest ways. There are not enough jail cells and handcuffs and shackles, for if ev but then again, how do we get a group of people that are so disjointed and distracted and divided to come together and say, "No, I'm willing to throw away my life, my job, my income,
My
my
family,
my family, my relationships, my social status, my everything to, do something I believe in."
and
I
honestly, there's not enough people out there that are willing to do that.
Yeah.
and it's like the trucker strike in New York. Are they? Is it 100%? Is it 50%? Is it 1 out of 10? How many truckers are refusing to take goods into New York? Likewise, I'm not about to put myself in a gray bar motel. And I don't know if that makes me a coward. If it does, okay, that's how it is.
I mean, I'm down for whatever. And it's probably not something I should advertise too much, but yeah, I mean, correct. There was no NFA. Looking at text history and tradition.
Well, I
Mhm.
mean, that's one of the arguments in Texas versus ATF, which is the GOA case out of Texas, challenging the NFA, not the NFA, the pistol brace thing.
Mhm.
It argues that the NFA was not around at the founding of the era, and there was no analog to the NFA, so therefore the NFA is unconstitutional. And like I said before, and then it goes, but if you reject that, then here's another reason. But if you reject that, you gotta pile it up, man. It's
Mhm. Mhm.
you gotta cover all your bases.
Yeah.
You can't
Uh,
just throw that in there.
yes, Warsaw. They are trying to pass some assault
I,
weapons ban
yeah,
BS in Virginia.
even if it does it, it's gonna get vetoed. So
Yeah, I don't know. There's one piece. There's a piece of me that believes that because our governor has some further political aspirations for the future, that he may not take any action on it, let it just sit until it becomes law, so he can play both sides in the future.
I
Because
don't know.
I've never seen him do anything pro. The
I'll
only
talk to you
thing he
offline
did.
about it.
That's it. That's the only thing he's done
I'll
for
talk to you
himself.
offline about it. I honestly do, from what
Yeah.
I've seen behind the scenes, that I think he's going to veto it.
Yeah, I hope it does. And honestly, if it does, then that's your chance for you guys to see someone in real time.
That's
Say
what's being
something
said
like,
behind the scenes, at least. I'll just say that.
yeah. Um,
But
thank you,
getting back
Falfas.
to the NRA thing, do we have anything else to talk about the NRA? Or I know we kind of got off topic here.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
on
So
the
why don't you recap, John?
New York has found the NRA, Wayne LaPierre, and the CFO of the NRA guilty, or not guilty. They found them liable in a corruption case. They found them liable for $5.4 million of inappropriated funds, or misappropriated funds. Sorry.
inappropriately misappropriated.
Yeah.
It's-
Sorry, Ed. I'm still
no,
under
you're
the weather.
good.
Yeah,
This
no, and I think that's a rounding error. I'm shocked that it's that little.
But,
And I'm
that's what
surprised
the
New York
jury
State.
decided. New York was going for more, but the jury decided that.
I'm just surprised New York State spent its time on this. It's like, really?
Well, they went for a lot more. This is what they got.
Right. If one, I don't trust New York State. I don't trust the NRA.
Yeah.
I like the NRA more than I like New York State.
If you had to pick one, right?
Yeah. What is it? F kill or what?
Yeah, F Mary kill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be a tough one. That would be a tough one.
All right. I'm signing out.
All right,
You're
All
going
right.
to dinner.
All right, brother.
Right.
I appreciate you.
All right, we're gonna get out of here too.
Yeah. I hope everyone understands out there that like nobody is pro the restriction on our natural rights. Like that the reason why all of us do this, report on things, talk about things, share knowledge about building, gun building, any of the things that we do on our different platforms is because we disagree with all of it. But we gotta acknowledge the people fighting and the wins as they come, even if we disagree with it.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. If there's no more questions, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here.
yeah, on the last note, I'll say this regarding the NRA. If you guys are looking for a great organization to support that will fight for you, the NRA is not the organization that I would select. I personally would recommend the GOA.
I would recommend the GOA too, but there's a lot of good organizations: GOA, SAF, FBC, just to name a group. And then you got to look at your state level groups too: VCDL in Virginia,
sure.
CCDL in Connecticut, West Virginia Citizens Defense League,
Yeah,
Bama Carry, Florida Carry. There's
a bunch out there.
a Grassroots North Carolina is another good one out there.
Yeah,
There's a lot of New York Pistol Rifle Association. In California, you got CRPA out there, which is a great, that they used to be an NRA affiliate, but not anymore. CRPA, GOC, Gun Owners of California, which is a
Palmetto
GOA
Gun
affiliate out there. But yeah, there's a lot of San Diego Gun Owners is another good one out there, and yeah, it's a very, very, and there's a lot of good state level organizations as well, and they're really plugged into what's happening at the state level.
Yeah.
So I would suggest looking into those.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's all I got. I appreciate you, Crump. Let me slide through here.
Yeah, John Ward, not the one. No, not that one. Is this another John Ward, or is it the John Ward, our John Ward?
PCDL lost me when they went inside the fence unarmed, yelling, "We will not comply." Maybe I think I have a slightly different perspective of that. I think the people outside the fence were saying we will not comply, but they did want to get. And I understand where you're coming from, but look, I get it. I mean, that's yeah, it's an individual choice, you know. I don't personally support VCDL, but personally GOA, FPC, and SAF. And I don't like someone else just mentioned. I don't see that as paying for your natural rights or paying for your God-given rights. That's contributing to an organization that's fighting on our behalf. If you feel that the best thing for you to do is to exercise your rights as you see them every day, risking, you know, the fear of incarceration and fear of loss of life is how the government rules us, right? Like those are the only two
All
things.
power comes from the barrel of a gun.
All of it, all of it, and they will always have fear of incarceration and fear of death over us. And until you say, I'm willing to, sacrifice those two things, then, you do you, boo. It's an individual choice. Just, it's important for people that stand up in front of thousands of people and say things to not sound like you're encouraging people to break the laws. All we're doing, like all Crump is doing, is just giving information on, activities that had occurred. That's it. Doing nothing is not an option. I completely agree. That's why people should, you have a YouTube channel, start making videos, start getting your voice out there, start, going out protesting, start, do something that can have an impact on what we're doing, even if it's just inspiring others to do the same thing. We need more voices. We need more people. We need more activism. So do your
Yeah, the
thing.
First Amendment is a huge, huge part of the Constitution, and it's why I'm a massive First Amendment supporter. Actually, I have a shirt that says "Support the First."
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that is it. I'm gonna get out of here. There's a good
Yep.
movie that you guys have to watch. It's called Iron Claw. It's really good.
I haven't seen that. I'll check
Yeah,
it out. Is it new?
yeah. Just I mean, it was out in the theaters. It just came out on Amazon to like rent and stuff.
I don't have Amazon.
It's or other places you can rent it to. But it's a good movie. And I just want to remind everyone here that we are still doing the Bella's Wish. I've not been pushing it as much as I usually do every year at this time because I've been sick for like
Weeks.
a month.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's but it's linked down below if you want to buy a toy. They have some cheap options too, so you don't have to go crazy and spend massive amounts of money. But if you want to, you can do that too. But it will go directly to the Ronald McDonald House. Everyone that does this is volunteers. It's the Bella's Wish, which is my niece, and we deliver them to the Ronald McDonald House up in Long Island, where Bella spent a lot of time.
And if for those that don't know, she had passed away when she was 10.
Yeah, 10 years old. 3 years ago, this past February 13th was the anniversary. Was
It,
the 3-year anniversary.
if you guys look for anyone, considering hopping on the Amazon wish list and getting something, if you guys look at some of the reports where kids that survive childhood cancer talk about things like that, some of the things that they said helped them survive was a positive attitude that came from, getting gifts, and when they bring gifts in, when they bring dogs in, things like that are huge morale boosters. So know that the impact that you could have could be more than, a board game, right? It could be a big impact, even life saving. So.
Yeah, exactly. It means a lot to those kids,
Yeah.
and just to see the look on the faces when they get all this stuff is awesome. Link, please. Yeah, I should have linked it. Give me 1 second. I'll link that for you before we get out of here.
I think I can go back to the beginning where you had it.
It's just gonna take a second.
Oh, and when are we coming back to the to do the uncensored podcast?
Hopefully Monday.
Okay.
I was planning on being back this week, but I just wasn't well enough to come back to do my live streams.
Yeah, no, I got you.
But I'm getting better. I probably don't sound like I'm getting better, but I'm getting better.
Well, dude, just recently, this is the first day that my voice is like back to normal. My voice has been exactly like yours for like the last week. After I was attacked and DLD Hardware, my store was shut down and dealing with having to get new merchant services and stuff. And I believe that that was Every Town for Gun Safety, Bloomberg, NBC, and those guys that were targeting me. I believe, allegedly, possibly. So anyway, I'm working
What
on
did you
repairing
say?
that.
What word did you say?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
There you go.
Shout out to Sabar.
Yeah, no, I had pneumonia. I still do, but it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks before I'm totally better, which is freaking insane.
Yeah.
It was like bacteria resistant pneumonia. I mean, antibiotic resistant bacteria pneumonia.
Yeah, that's tough, man. You were in a tough spot.
Oh yeah, I was getting worried, but I'm on my way back. So hopefully I'll get
Yeah.
back to my normal video schedule instead of only doing a couple a week. But it's just going to take time. So just bear
Yeah.
with me, guys.
Quick little shameless plug. Check me out. I do a live show on my YouTube channel. It's DLD After Dark. For those in here that do not know me, I have a channel, DLD After Dark, usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. Come check me out. We do a live show over there. And I'm on Instagram and everything else under DLD After Dark and DLD Hardware.
Amish ATF agent. Yeah, at SHOT Show, the ATF, apparently they don't want to talk to me. They won't talk to me.
They don't ever want to talk to you, Crump.
No, it's kind of crazy. I'm not hitting puberty. Come on. It's kind of crazy that they know who I am and I scare them so much that they won't talk to me.
If it's SHOT Show related, DLD dodged the bullet this year. Yes, I did not go to SHOT Show this year. And everyone knows because Rich made 125 videos of,
including breaking onto your live stream.
Yeah, yep. You guys came on.
Classic Firearms.
Yep, Clint with Classic Firearms. That's one of the homies.
Well, you said that you always wanted to get him back on your show, so you did.
I know, it's funny. I was like, dude, I wanted you back on the show. Because he's been on before, and it was
it is Jessica Di Natale's. That is the correct address.
Yeah,
that's my sister-in-law who's down in Virginia this week, and she's out with my wife right now.
The other thing I'll say, I want to add this, guys. For everyone, for every channel that is like Crumps that report on, things related to your natural rights. I got to say, it's sad to see these other creators that are reporting on some of the same stuff, which I love and support them. Even though a lot of them get information from you, and congrats on hitting 50,000 followers, but you should be pushing a million followers. You know what I mean?
I mean, I talk to those guys a lot.
I know.
I mean, I get calls from like a lot of them like every day asking about stuff.
And you also give a lot of information to other people.
They call up and they ask me for information. I give them information. I mean, as long as the information is getting out there, that's all I really was concerned about.
I see, well, yeah. So I believe that the value of your channel is greater than the support that we're seeing. I just want to let you know.
You also got to remember, I'm mostly a writer.
That's true, and you are extremely successful. I'm just saying that I believe you're worth more. I'm surprised your channel hasn't blown
Jared's
up.
a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
I talk to Jared like every other day, maybe every day.
Jared's a great dude. Jared, I got my Guns and Gadgets mug right over there, full of gun punches and tools and screwgees and stuff like that.
Yeah, yes, I did say the law, that the militia law. Yeah, it's dumb.
It's absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd.
I wish the clickbait AI screenshot guy had. I don't know who that is.
Would you like me to say?
No.
No, I won't. But yes, you're right.
I know who you're referring to, but I like that guy. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. We're not debating on how nice people are. Anyway, thank you for having me on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. And anything else you want to add in there, Big Crump?
Your mom's box.
your mom's box